I want to start with some breaking news in the Ronald Greene murder, which broke when I was gone over my honeymoon. You know, I've been saying this is the United Corporations of America forever. I've been saying that we're pretty much living in, whether it's financial cover ups, whether it's police cover ups, the cover up in Flint, governmental cover ups. We're in a sea of cover ups, and the corporate media exists to cover up what's going on. They exist to cover up. And it's very rare that a corporate media outlet or the media in general will call something what it is, a cover up. But it looks like as more information comes out, what's going on in Louisiana with Ronald Greene is an old fashioned cover up. This just came in from the Associated Press. Top cop in black man's deadly arrest withheld camera video. Let me read for you. In perhaps the strongest evidence yet of an attempted cover-up in the deadly 2019 arrest of Ronald Greene, the ranking Louisiana State police officer at the scene falsely told internal investigators that the black man was still a threat to flee after he was shackled.
Put your hands behind your back. I am sorry.
And he denied the existence of his own body camera video for nearly 2 years until it emerged just last month. New state police documents obtained by the AP show numerous inconsistencies between Lieutenant John Clary's statements to detectives and the body camera footage he denied having. They add to growing evidence of obfuscation in Greene's death, which the white troopers initially blamed on a car crash at the end of a high-speed chase and is now the subject of a federal civil rights investigation. So if you don't know the story, this black man, Ronald Greene, was essentially strangled to death, a la George Floyd. He said, "I'm fearful." And they just kept on strangling him to death, even though he was pinned down with cuffs on. And now they said, oh, he died of a car crash. Remember, injuries of a car accident. That wasn't the case. Apparently, the chief officer on the scene didn't have his body camera on. I wonder why. And denied the existence of a body cam video for nearly 2 years. And falsely told investigators that he was fleeing, although he was shackled down, dying as they strangled him. And this comes, by the way, obviously we were on the ground covering the Andrew Brown story. This comes as while I was gone on my honeymoon, they released the video from that. They say the video, well, they released some of the video. They haven't released all of the video, but the part that they released show the police came in G.I. Joe style on Andrew Brown in North Carolina with Uzis, big ass guns, including one semi-automatic gun. Within seconds, they were at his car, guns pointed at him. You know, maybe there's a different way you could approach a suspect. He was suspected of cocaine or something like that. So I don't know. If I have a bunch of G.I. Joes pointing guns at my car and I'm a black man and I'm not a black man, I probably would get the out of there just like Andrew Brown did, because they're pointing guns at your car. And we know what police have done to people like Andrew Brown all over this country and all over this world. So Andrew Brown backed up. No police were behind him. Then he tried to flee. Again, not a capital punishment.
Go, 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 go!
And as he tried to flee, he didn't run into any police officers. Police officers were around his car, and they started shooting like at the gun range at a target. That's what happened. But the district attorney there, who, from my research, is corrupt, so is the judge who wouldn't release the footage, the district attorney spun that video into that Andrew Brown was using his car as a weapon. Well, they came out right away, jumped off the truck with weapons pointed at this man. What would you like him to do? Call of Duty, cosplay. Would you like him to sit there as a sitting duck as they shoot him to death, or try to get away? So as he tried to get away, I mean, I watched the video about 7 or 8 times. He's not He didn't back up on any police. And when he drove off, he didn't hit any police. He was going in the opposite direction of police. But the district attorney says no police, no action will be taken. Media doesn't question. Should they have come in Call of Duty style with all those guns? They required what looked like 7 or 8 police officers. Several of the police officers didn't have their body cam footage on. So those police officers are getting off. And by the way, the only reason that these police officers in Louisiana might see justice is because the body cam leaked. The body cam leaked of what happened with Ronald Greene. They sat on this for 2 years, including the governor of Louisiana, a Democrat. So to me, I don't want to minimize what happened with Ronald Greene because it's heinous. If you saw the video, I mean, they're strangling the man to death for no reason. Strangling the man to death for no reason. You could tell these police officers, this isn't a training issue. This is a brutality issue. This is a mentality issue. This is a racism issue. This is a too much testosterone issue. And this is a racism issue. You can't train or retrain cops not to be like that. But to me, I think, and we're not going to get much from Joe Biden, author of the crime bill, but to me, what really stands out about the Ronald Greene tape, how many more Ronald Greenes are there out there? This was 2 years ago that this happened. How many more tapes are being hidden? How many more sergeants, a Louisiana State police officer at the scene falsely told internal investigators that the black man was still a threat to flee after he was shackled, and he denied the existence of his own body camera footage? How many more of those are there? How many district attorneys who are elected, by the way, and are in bed with the police and in bed with the police unions are covering all these things up? Instead of seeking justice for people like Ronald Greene, are trying to protect and cover the asses of the police murdering Ronald Greenes. It's a rhetorical question, but you know the answer is a lot. And it's not just black men. It's a lot of Latino men being brutalized or murdered. Now, black women we're seeing more and more. And we have bills, the George Floyd policing reform bill, as if this can be reformed. I don't want to sit on every single police officer. I actually know 1 or 2 that I went to high school with who aren't barbarians, as far as I know. But this is not bad apples. This is a corrupt murdering squad who attempt to cover things up, frankly, like organized crime tries to cover murder up. And again, what happened with Ronald Greene is murder. The police officers murdered him. They should be arrested. But those who tried to cover it up should also be arrested. And frankly, at this point, it's not going to happen unless we make it happen. You know how they had contact tracers for COVID? You know, we need contact tracers in the form of psychiatrists, mental health professionals. We need to put psychiatrists in every single police department in this country. Don't let the police out of the police department for days and weeks, if need be. This is a crisis, and you need every single psychiatrist, head-to-toe evaluations of these police officers with the most stringent testing for PTSD, mental health issues, racial bias, you name it. And if you do that, I'd venture to guess 60 to 70% of their badges would be taken. That's what needs to happen. You want to call it defund? You want to call it abolish? I don't care what you call it. But when you see the video of these instances, and by the way, if we ever saw the video of what happened to Breonna Taylor, let's not forget all the people that there's not video for, or Michael Brown, Trayvon Martin, et cetera, et cetera. Those police officers would probably look the same way. Overzealous, barbarians, not at all concerned about protecting themselves. Protecting the people that they have on the ground strangling to death, but mostly concerned with protecting themselves against an irrational fear. The police that went in Uzi style on Andrew Brown automatically assumed that Andrew Brown was a threat. Yeah, he had a criminal rap sheet. That's okay. A lot of people do. A lot of white people have criminal rap sheets. I promise you, they wouldn't have showed up to a white person's house for a cocaine subpoena, a subpoena over selling cocaine or something like that, with 7 police officers look like SEAL Team 6 with their Uzis out, pointed at him. Wouldn't happen. But literally, you have murders, and it's not only Biden. This happened long before Biden. But how much more evidence do you need that this is not reformable? You can't reform a mentality of racism, barbarism, not looking at the people you're supposed to be protecting as humans, and then covering it up. How do you trust police reports after so many examples of the police straight up lying? How do you trust district attorneys when there's a lot of evidence that district attorneys are bought off by police unions and are in bed with the police they're supposed to be prosecuting if the police do wrong? You look at the Andrew Brown situation. I'm sorry. If you look at that video, the standard can no longer be simply, was Andrew Brown a threat? What about, was the police a threat to this black man? Explain to me why. They showed up in a truck with military, I mean, they look like they're in Fallujah with body visors and automatic weapons, semi-automatic weapons. And they jump out. Instead of approaching him, saying we have a subpoena, this and that, they showed up, guns pointed at the man. What about that threat to Andrew Brown? Ronald Greene, I mean, did you see the video? So what do black people, or any people, but black people in specific, are they not allowed to respond to a threat? Because I'll tell you what, if I was in a car, I don't care if I've sold drugs or whatever. White people sell drugs too. Trust me. If I was in a car and all those cops showed up with guns pointed at me, my fight or flight would probably be in reverse, and that car would reverse, and I'd probably drive away. Especially for a black person who, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. You're either going to get shot sitting there or get shot driving away. And by the way, there was a police officer. The majority of the shots came from a police officer, not as Andrew Brown was in the immediate driving right away around the police officers, but a police officer behind him as he had already driven away. He was not a threat as he's driving away, but that police officer shot, I think I counted 3 times, and one of them hit him in the back of the neck.